we got to clear up the misconceptions about Aaron Rodgers because he's been a punching bag for bad takes all this offseason since when was throwing 28 touchdowns to only 11 interceptions the sign that a quarterback is washed, which was more touchdowns than Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, and CJ Stroud, by the way, right? But nobody's calling Matthew Stafford washed, even though Aaron Rodgers had a better season than him last season statistically on the franchise that's notoriously known for being a graveyard for quarterbacks' careers. The Jets haven't had a quarterback that's finished with a winning record since Ryan Fitzpatrick year one under Todd Bowles when he was the head coach, which was a decade ago. And what is getting overlooked about Aaron Rodgers making a move to finish his career with the Steelers is that every quarterback that has left the Jets has elevated their career. Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, and let's take it back a step further to when Brett Favre left the New York Jets. When he first got traded to the Jets, he was 39 years old, and he finished the season 9-7 with 22 touchdowns along with 22 interceptions. And guess what happened the year after he leaves the Jets? At 40 years old, he ends up being a finalist for NFL MVP, having the Vikings one game short of making it to the Super Bowl with 33 touchdowns and 7 INTs that year. Aaron Rodgers has the ability in Pittsburgh under Mike Tomlin to have his Brett Favre arc. Mike Tomlin's floor is 9 wins. This is the same coach who has won with some of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Mason Rudolph, Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Two Gloves Pickett. Any other quarterback who would have had to win with those 3 quarterbacks would have already gotten fired. So if Mike Tomlin can make it to the playoffs with randos and below average quarterback play, it's fair to expect that Mike Tomlin can win at least 11 games this year with Aaron Rodgers and at least win one playoff game. Aaron Rodgers showed last year he still has the ability to play winning football. Once again, I'm going to ask this question again. Since when was a guy who threw 28 touchdowns and 11 interceptions washed? That makes no sense to me. Did anybody watch the New York Jets last year? Because although Aaron Rodgers was part of why the Jets were as bad as what they were, it wasn't due to his play on the field. It was due to his influence on how the team was constructed. Getting Alan Lazard, wanting his buddy Nathaniel Hackett hired as the offensive coordinator. But as far as the play on the field, Aaron Rodgers wasn't really the problem. It was the coaching. The owner fired Robert Saleh only a quarter through the season. And there were several games that the Jets lost last year that weren't because Aaron Rodgers played bad, but it was because they were a poorly coached football team. Remember the amount of missed field goals they had and that Monday night loss to the Buffalo Bills? You can't put that on Aaron Rodgers. It's easy to put all of the Jets' shortcomings in 2024 on Aaron, but if you actually contextualize everything that went wrong with the Jets, Aaron Rodgers was a small portion of why 2024 was a disastrous campaign for the New York organization. When you just are a dysfunctional franchise, it doesn't matter who you have at quarterback. Every great quarterback that has played this game has had stability in the front office when they have performed and won at the highest level, especially when you have a guy who's on the last leg of his career. Aaron Rodgers, we can all agree, is no longer the bad man that we grew up watching all those years with the Packers. But he is not one of the worst starting quarterbacks in the league, like how the media makes him out to be. The guy continuously puts up really productive numbers. And as long as he can continue to be a solid quarterback for Pittsburgh, with how good they are on defense and with how they have revamped that offensive line quietly over the last couple of years. He's throwing the DK Metcalf. You got a stud rookie running back in Caleb Johnson and Mike Tomlin, who can win with anybody. The Steelers are going to be a lock for the postseason, and they will win at least one playoff game this year. But best case scenario, let's say that Aaron Rodgers does completely enter his Brett Favre arc, and he bounces back to being 85% of what he was when he last won MVP with the Packers 3-4 years ago. How good would the Steelers be then? You're looking at a team that is a borderline Super Bowl contender. The Ravens have a better roster than Pittsburgh, but not by that much. The Steelers draft better than the majority of teams in the NFL. Nobody talks about how good Mason McCormick was or Zach Frazier, but the Steelers' offensive line is garbage, though. Troy Fautanu, who was the Steelers' first-round pick in last year's draft, only played in like 1 or 2 games before he got his season cut short with the injury. But the misconception that Aaron Rodgers can't play anymore has already been exposed by Brett Favre. The New York Jets were the problem last year more than Aaron Rodgers was. Is he a guy that can be a little bit hard to get along with at times? Absolutely. But some of the best quarterbacks in this game weren't always guys who easily connected with their teammates. Peyton Manning could be often pretty demanding. Same thing with Tom Brady, Big Ben. But Aaron Rodgers still has enough juice left in the tank where the Steelers can achieve everything that they're aiming for this year. Maybe not win the division, but make it to the playoffs, win a playoff game, and who knows from that point on. But to say that there's no more room in the league for Aaron Rodgers, he's washed, it's just disingenuous to what he did last season. So all of a sudden, the stats don't matter. Don't you guys love to say numbers don't lie? The numbers last year show you that Aaron Rodgers was still a good quarterback. So why is he being made out to be garbage? Like he's some kind of skeleton in the closet that the Steelers just drug out. They blew on. They got that Swifter, Duster, whatever you call it. And they're making it seem like the Steelers just got an old man that can't do anything at quarterback when he threw 28 touchdowns last season. Just saying.